As I got in better shape, I was tending to stretching out the space between meals. When you're hungry, you're in the fat burning mode. But I wanted to learn to see what I look like to other people. I think that's the thing. And I always advocated people take photos of themselves.
The only thing that he did, he took his glasses off and he said, "Barry, I want to help you with everything except insulin."
Number 4, Frank Zane. Veteran bodybuilder Frank Zane epitomized bodybuilding to be this perfect display of shape and symmetry. His belief that bodybuilding should be an art of creating something new falls in direct contrast with the modern era of bodybuilding. It's more mass-driven, and that's the kind of body he would hate to have for himself. In an interview from 2015 with Artemis Dolgan for Golden Aesthetics, Frank Zane shared his views on modern-day bodybuilders and why that's something he would have never aspired for himself. He also suggested that several of his clients do not want that kind of physique, and Zane would also never advise anyone to go for it. He mentioned how the focus on mass and big muscles were in direct contrast with when he did bodybuilding. Zane was one of the pioneers in bringing the focus of the bodybuilding world into shape and symmetry instead of mass. Frank Zane started bodybuilding during the so-called Golden Era. Competing with the likes of big shots like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Franco Columbu, Zane had to wait it out before he could win his first Olympia. Zane doesn't believe in the idea of instant gratification, whose allure has trapped more present-day bodybuilders. He believes the idea of quick reward is making these bodybuilders gain immense mass in a short span of time without caring about its true long-form process. While bodybuilders like Ronnie Coleman and Lee Haney brought the focus back on mass with their highly muscular physiques, they also balanced it out with near-perfect symmetry. However, the axis has tilted, believes Zane, somewhere around the last decade when mass production became the focus again. Number 3, Barry DeMay. These days, Barry DeMay is most notable as a coach and bodybuilding commentator-influencer compared to his prime competitive days. Barry DeMay's journey through bodybuilding is more complicated than most know. Though today he stands tall as a successful coach, online bodybuilder commentator, and IFBB Pro Hall of Famer, his journey contained many ups and downs. After some time competing in the IFBB Pro League, DeMay left in favor of Vince McMahon's ill-fated WBF League. That failed after a very short tenure. Luckily, DeMay was allowed back into the IFBB Pro League once WBF ended. Barry DeMay then competed for a few more years before retiring from the sport. Upon retiring, DeMay did something atypical for most elite competitors. He left the world of bodybuilding completely. He enrolled into a college to focus on photography and believed that this would be his new life path. As we know today, he eventually returned to the world of bodybuilding and made a name for himself as a coach. But Barry DeMay is worried about pro bodybuilding as a whole. He believes that the competitive side has become too dangerous, with increasingly bigger and stronger doses of PEDs being used. But as natural bodybuilding leagues and the wider general fitness community shows us, there is a way to achieve incredible sculpted physiques without endangering your health to that degree. DeMay has spoken out about the many too-soon deaths that hit our sport over the past year and a half. He's spoken out about his worry of how the most massive physiques are being rewarded, such as Big Ramy and Nick Walker. These comments all tie into why he got back into bodybuilding and coaching in the first place. He believes a bodybuilding lifestyle can be healthy and enjoyed by all. Number 2, Robbie Robinson. When erstwhile American bodybuilder Robbie Robinson had a conversation about modern-day bodybuilding, he had a bold take on it. Robinson spoke about how far modern-day bodybuilding has come and how most of them today are focused on their mass. He believes that is what has led to a decrease in the popularity of the beloved sport and also harmfully affected the health of bodybuilders. He provides the example of one of the greatest bodybuilders of all time to prove his point, Ronnie Coleman. While mass monster size was slowly creeping into pro bodybuilding before Ronnie Coleman, Ronnie ultimately solidified the mass monster aesthetic. His 8 times Olympia reign and incredible massive size changed the standards for men's open pro bodybuilding. Today, some people think the mass monster aesthetic has gone too far, and they are worried about the future of bodybuilding. Robbie Robinson is one of those people. One question on everyone's mind is whether or not the quality of physiques have declined, as many critics of the sport have been saying. Robbie Robinson says he thinks mass monster size makes the sport look bad and is dropping interest from fans beyond the hardcore. He loves the introduction of classic physique and hopes it continues to grow and change the expectation on physique size in bodybuilding as a whole. Robbie Robinson uses one main example, Ronnie Coleman. Ronnie changed the game with his insane mass monster size. It earned him 8 Mr. Olympia titles. It also earned him a life of painful injuries after retirement. He's had over a dozen surgeries on his spine and hips combined. Robbie Robinson claims that he enjoyed Ronnie's physique when he was younger. He recounts the stories that circulated of Ronnie squatting 800 or 900 pounds and found it upsetting. Robbie continues, "I don't see that. You're not trying to annihilate yourself, you're trying to build muscle." Of course, to many, Ronnie Coleman is the greatest bodybuilder of all time. Ronnie himself has said numerous times that his only regret is not training even harder. Some consider his sacrifice part of what it takes to become the best. Others, such as Robbie Robinson, believe that perhaps Ronnie could have still been a legendary bodybuilder and kept his health if he had only pulled back slightly. Number 1. Arnold Schwarzenegger. During the 80s and 90s, bodybuilding was about figuring out the most incredible physiques. Their perfect symmetry was embraced by the audience, as well as their bulky muscles. Without question, bodybuilders like Arnold Schwarzenegger had a positive impact on the bodybuilding fraternity. But according to Arnold, the modern era of bodybuilding lost its actual definition. During an earlier interview, the Austrian oak elaborated on the issues of how modern bodybuilding progressed. Bodybuilding has long been surrounded by the battle to be recognized as a professional sport, but now things have changed. Social media platforms have leveled up to support amateur bodybuilders who couldn't become conventionally professional bodybuilders. Speaking on this matter, Arnie shared his beliefs in a refreshing interview. He stated, "I think that the sport of bodybuilding is at the crossroads. The sport of bodybuilding could go through the roof and be accepted by the general public in a huge way and become part of the Olympics, become an Olympic sport, and be on television and everything, or it regresses." Back in the day, the thing that used to hold audiences' interest firmly was the bodybuilder's charisma. This is where Arnold comes into the picture. However, with the dawn of a new era filled with versatile fitness equipment, supplements, and social media platforms to grow, presumably it's all about publicity now. Once, a famous 6-time Mr. Olympia winner called out Arnold for his blunt comment regarding New Age iron pumpers. Furthermore, he also commented once before that some elite bodybuilders have taken the sport too far and are so obsessed with their size it is killing them. Lifting weights is positive for the vast majority of people, but some competitors take it to the extreme and are only interested in size, the bodybuilding legend said. An obsession with bulking up and building muscle is known as muscle dysmorphia or bigorexia and is estimated to affect 10% of men. A string of deaths in the bodybuilding community in recent years led Schwarzenegger to describe the sport as the most dangerous in the world in 2021. The use of performance-enhancing drugs and steroids is becoming more and more common in elite bodybuilding, and these can lead to various long-term health risks such as testicular atrophy, infertility, and heart attacks. So the future of bodybuilding might become even more dangerous. That's all for today, folks. See you next time.